Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, I've got a brand new top 10 for you. I've done this feature before in the past, one other time, and it met with some great response, and I thought I'd do it again with a different list. And in this case, for today, we are going to do the top 10 tips, tricks, comments, whatever you want to call it, to make your shop a little more user-friendly and a little better place to hang out.
Number 10.
Coming in at number 10 here on the list is something that has to do with the general health of your tools. And what I'm talking about is tension. I don't mean that your tools are stressed out. What I mean is levers like this one here on the belt sander, the tension has been removed. Things like your scroll saw, your belt sander, your bandsaw, these sort of things. Don't leave the tension on your tools, guys, when they're idle, when they're not in use, when they're in storage. That can create problems with flat spots on the ends of the wheels. It can create problems with, over time, losing tension and having to tighten it that much more in order to get that tension back. It stretches belts if it's a belt run system. It just causes problems over time. You may not see those problems immediately, and it's not an instant problem, but over a period of time, it will definitely wear your tools prematurely. So remember that. Number 10 is, when you're done with your tools, remove the tension.
Number 9.
Coming in at number 9 is something that is so simple, it's ridiculous. And what it is these little red bins right here. And let me just peel one of these off the wall here and show you. Now you can make your own shop-made versions of these, or you can get them at the local big box store. They are dirt cheap. But the bottom line is they kind of hang with a French cleat kind of a system, and I hang them on the walls all around the shop. And what I use them for is, at that particular tool, it holds the accessories for that particular tool. Like in this case, it's right by my sander, and it's got my crate blocks for removal, it's got my sanding drums. It has everything there that I need to work at that tool. Over at the drill press, I have them, and it holds my regularly used drill bit sizes. That sort of thing. Over by the router table, again, I have it with my router inserts, my router lift crank, all kinds of uses around the shop. So coming in at number 9, get yourself some of these storage bins.
Number 8.
Well, jumping right in there at number 8 is this. It's an L hook. At least that's what I call them, L hooks. You can get them at your big box stores in bulk for pennies a piece. And what I'm going to say to you about these, you may be thinking, Kenny, what the heck, man? You're talking about an L hook in your shop. You darn straight I am. Forget about using nails in your walls. The reason I say this is because some of the stuff we hang on our walls is expensive. Take these straight edges, for example. These things aren't cheap. This is a Veritas straight edge, and go ahead and price them. They cost a pretty penny. But yet, hang them up on a wall using a nail, and with vibrations in the shop and whatnot, how long is it going to be before that gets knocked off the wall? How long is it before you reach for another tool and you pull this off and this hits your concrete floor? I hate to tell you that, but a straight edge with dings and chips out of the edge isn't a straight edge anymore. It's now been compromised and will either have to be remilled or replaced. So do yourself a favor, prevent your tools from coming off of the wall by using an L hook instead of a nail.
Number 7.
Number 7 brings me down here to the floor level of my shop, and in fact underneath my bench. And what we've got here is an old container. The container is not the important part here. What I bring you with number 7 is old clothing, whether it be t-shirts, socks, sweaters, sweatpants, whatever, it doesn't matter. Save those. Save those old t-shirts and cut them up. I mean, a cut up t-shirt is just as good of a shop rag as anything you'll ever buy in the stores. And it always seems that if you've got kids, they're forever growing out of their clothes or wearing them out or tearing the knee out of a pair of their sweatpants. And what better way to utilize something instead of throwing it in the garbage or just pitching it somewhere or having it take up space in your house? Why not cut them up into a usable size for a shop rag? Great for cleaning up spills, great for squeeze out on projects when it comes to glue ups. Just a fantastic idea. And in this world of recycling, reduce, reuse, recycle, why not reuse those old articles of clothing that are no longer good for anything else to have them a usable item in your shop? So number 7, old clothing for shop rags.
Number 6.
Jumping right in there at number 6 is maintenance on your cast iron surfaces. I'm just going to show you a few pictures here of the different tools around my shop. Let me just stand off to the side here so I can put them up in the corner. And these surfaces always look like this. We have a lot of tools that are in our shop, and a lot of them have the cast iron surfaces on them. And yet I see so many shops where these surfaces are rusted, they're stained, they're tainted, they're just horrible looking. I don't understand it. All it takes is a little bit of paste wax. That's all it takes to maintain your cast iron tools and to keep them looking like new. So what you want to do on all your cast iron surfaces is get a thin coating of paste wax, and every couple months give it a coat and buff it up and keep that cast iron surface protected, because eventually if you let these surfaces go, I mean, you're going to have to start sanding them down and milling them and reflattening them, and let me tell you, that's a lot of work. It's not going to be an easy go for you. So for the sake of a little bit of paste wax, you can save your cast iron tools. Let me just show you my new best friend in the shop. I've just discovered this stuff, and this is Acutabove metal polish. And I'm telling you, this stuff is as simple to use as any, and as long as your tool isn't too badly out of tune, let's say, or too badly stained or rusted or whatever, this stuff here does a great job, and it's fairly inexpensive, and it puts a nice coating on the table saw or the drill press or the jointer or what have you to protect it. Protected. So coming in at number 6, protect your cast iron with a little bit of paste wax.
Number 5.
Number 5 on the list is all about your bandsaw blades. Some of us have larger bandsaws or even the smaller one with the smaller blades, and they're difficult to store because they're this big hoop. Has anyone ever shown you how to fold or collapse a bandsaw blade properly so that you can store it? If not, you're in luck, because I'm going to show you today. And the first thing you want to do is you want to get a glove, because, hey, safety first. We don't need anyone getting cut. So this is what you want to do. You want to hold your bandsaw blade out in front of you in the palm of your hand with the blade in your palm and your palm facing outward, away from your body. At that point in time, you want the blade to rest on the floor. And when it rests on the floor, or a bench if it's a smaller blade, you want to place your foot in that blade and twist to the left. And as you're twisting, you want to lower your hand so that that blade folds up. So there you go, at number 5, folding up your bandsaw blades. Practice it, guys. You'll see it's easy stuff.
Number 4.
Rocking on in there at number 4 is my good friend magnetic toolbars. And guys, if you ever saw these online and wondered if they're as good as what they claim they are, I'm here to tell you, hell yeah. I've got 2 of them here in front of my workbench, and although I have a tool tray in my bench, what I have along the back wall behind the bench is all the tools that I would use here, such as my layout tools with my Incra rules, rulers, that sort of thing on that side. And this side is things like center punches and my squares, and my plane stop is over here, and a pair of scissors, and it's just unreal how organized it keeps all of your stuff by your bench or whatever workstation you want to have it at, but as well gives you total accessibility, where when you're here working on a project and you got your hands full and you've got this clamped and that held and this in position, and suddenly you need to check something for square, oh crap, my square is over in a drawer on the other side of the bench. No, it's not. It's right here. You get it? Easy accessibility by having a magnetic toolbar right at the station where you need that accessibility. So I can't say enough great things about these bars. So at number 4, magnetic toolbars.
Number 3.
Coming in at number 3 is none other than scroll saw blade labels. If you are someone who uses your scroll saw and you are a regular at scrolling, I'm going to tell you something that's going to be very familiar to you, and that is where you go over to use your saw that you haven't been at since, say, last weekend, and you can't remember what blade is installed in the saw. Or you took out a blade and you put it off to the side because you wanted a different size, and then a while later you're looking at this pile of blades that you got sitting there and you don't remember what size they are. Well, simple solution for that is a magnetic blade label. And I did a show on this as a scrolling tip way back in the beginning days of the show, when I did everything in one take with no editing. And all it is a label. And it is a label that's printed with a label maker, and they were put onto, you know, those big sheet magnets that you can buy to go over vent covers for your heat registers, or they put them on the side of vehicles with the company logo on them and that sort of thing. That's all this is. It's cheap sheet magnets, and the label has been put on these with a size. So if you had a number 12 in there, you'd have this label, and all you do is you hold your label up to the side of your saw, and you just put this label, or your blade rather, to the side of the saw. You put this label over top, it holds it to the side of your saw, and lets you know immediately what type of blade it is. And you just make one for whatever size blades you generally use. And it's a great tip as far as using the proper blade for your scroll saw. And what I mean by that is when you come back to the saw and you're not sure what blade is in, do you just chance it, or do you put a new blade in? Most of you probably put a new blade in. And that to me is a waste. If you have a usable blade there that's of the proper size, and you know what size you're dealing with, It eliminates the need to get another blade and end up with this pile or stack of used blades that you have no clue what they are. So, that being said, coming in at, what number are we at? I don't know. Number 3. You know what, I'm just going to leave that in there because I think it's funny. I forgot what number we're at. At number 3, magnetic scroll saw blade labels.
Number 2.
Number 2 is the brainchild of too many lost drill chuck keys. And it's a simple idea, but I tell you, I use it at both the drill presses in my shop, and it is priceless. And what it is a 1/2-inch rare earth magnet. It's a simple little idea, but you can snap it up there at the top of the body of your drill press, and every time that you tighten or loosen your chuck to remove or install a drill bit, put your chuck key up top. Don't put it down on your bench. Don't put it down into a sawdust pile. Don't put it in your pocket. Put it on your magnet. It's as simple as that. It's the simplest idea ever, but honest. It will prevent you from searching for this every time. I know that guys put these too on those extendable keychain things with the lanyards, and I don't know, that's a good idea too, but for me, magnets on the drill press to hold your chuck key. So I think it's awesome. Guys, at number 2, rare earth magnets to hold your chuck key to your drill press.
Number 1.
Number 1. I can't stress this enough. Number 1 is housekeeping. When it comes to your shop, this is your domain, this is your area, this is where you hang out, this is where you work, where you play. I'm telling you, do not leave your shop for the day without cleaning up. There isn't a day that I spend in the shop where when I'm done for the day, I don't go around, vacuum off everything, sweep up all the shavings off the floor, wipe down every tool, put every tool back where it belongs. If you have an organized shop and you have a home for everything, it takes all of 10 minutes. But there is nothing worse, and I guarantee you there is nothing worse than wanting to come out and work in your shop, and you come out here and you got to spend the first 45 minutes cleaning because you've left such a disaster over such a period of time. And you can't even have a workstation to do your work at because everything is such a mess. Housekeeping, guys. Keep the shop clean. A clean shop is a safe shop. And when you can walk through that door and start working immediately without ever having to tidy up or clean something or put this away, I tell you, it makes your shop experience that much more enjoyable. And for 10 minutes in the day, if you say you don't have that 10 minutes, cut 10 minutes off your woodworking and do it then. It's as simple as that, because the time that it will save you when you come back to the shop and don't have to clean is a lot more than 10 minutes. I promise you that. So, the number one thing, in my opinion anyway, of how to make your shop more user-friendly and definitely more enjoyable is never leave it without cleaning up first. And there you have it. Top 10 list. Do you agree with me? It's up to you. Whether you agree or whether you don't agree, there's somebody out there that will find some of these little tips useful. I didn't start doing this yesterday. I didn't start last week. I've been at it a long time. And I know what works for me. And all I can do is pass it on to you and hope that one of those 10 suggestions is a useful item to you and that you can start using it in your shop to make your shop experience a lot better for yourself. Not because I said so, but because that's what you deserve and that's what you need to have in your shop. Your shop should be a happy place. It shouldn't be a place of frustration. You shouldn't come in there and think, oh my goodness, look at this mess. Look at this. I can't always find my chuck key. What blade is this? Oh, look at the size of this bandsaw blade. It's just hanging around. How can I fold it? You shouldn't have any of that frustration. You should be able to come in here and enjoy your time working with the projects that you are currently working on. So guys, I hope that some of this has helped some of you. It's just a silly little fun video with a few little tips that I've thought of over the past few months. I want to thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you again next week with yet another woodworking video.